What is up, guys? This is the Spoon Dude, and with a new Venom trailer dropping just today, I figured it would be a good time as any to do another custom action figure showcase, this time on my Marvel Legends Venom figure. Now, getting straight into it, the figure was made with a Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man 3 Venom, and I'll put up a picture right now if you don't know which figure I am talking about. And I had that figure, and it was decent enough. I had him on my bad guys side of my comic shelf, and while he looked okay, he didn't really match because it was from a movie. So just like my Electro custom figure, I decided I would turn it into a more comic accurate looking one. And to do that, I did a lot of sculpting on top of the existing figure, as well as a lot of sanding off the textures that were on the pre-existing figure. This is the end result of that. So I'll put up a picture, or a couple of pictures hopefully, of the process so you can see. But just starting with the head sculpt, this is the original head sculpt. I modified a little bit, took out the tiny tongue it had, and then gave him a bigger tongue, which is just some wire with some glue around it, and then I attached it to him. And I also resculpted the eyes and took off all the webbing texture there. And I'm pretty happy with the way the eyes look. You can see how it's engraved there. And then for the paint job for the head and the figure, it's just black and white with some light gray shading, just a little bit. You can't really tell on camera. And then for the mouth, just pinks and darker pinks and stuff. And then for the teeth, I used an off-white color so they look a little bit more natural, and added some gloss to the tongue and a little bit of the mouth to kind of make it look wet. Pretty happy with this head sculpt. However, this isn't the only head I made for the figure. Like I said, this is the original one that came with it, but I thought it would be fun to kind of make a second option. And just to switch that really quick, here it is. And as you can see, this is more of a kind of Todd McFarlane look for my Venom, based of course on the art of the artist Todd McFarlane. I'll put up a picture again. And I made this so that it could go along with my McFarlane Spider-Man, which I also did a video on. This head sculpt is 100% originally sculpted by me. It's solid epoxy clay, which you can see there, and it fits pretty well on the figure. And I did the same kind of paint job as the other head, you know, white and black, and then an off-white color for the teeth. Pretty happy with it. The only thing I don't really like is how the back of the head looks. I don't know, it has kind of a weird lip there. It's the Todd McFarlane Venom head. And for the body, I did quite a bit of sculpting here, especially around the torso. Of course, sculpted the logo here, so it's all in gray. Sculpt on his shoulders to make them look a little bigger. And here's the back. And as you can see on the figure, there's this whole texture I did on there, which I accomplished just by not sanding down the sculpt when it was dry. Just left it the way it was, which already kind of looked like, I don't know, unrefined. And then I added some glue, just some super glue, which I put on there. And when it dried, it kind of left this kind of goopy texture, which I was a big fan of. For the logo, I sculpted it, and this was actually a real pain in my butt to sculpt because I had to try and make it look as symmetrical as I could and as clean as it looked, or as clean as I could make it look. So for this one, I tried to sand it down and actually make it look as smooth as possible to kind of contrast with the skin. You can be the judge of how well I did that. It's not perfect, and I could probably spend some more time on it, but yep, there it is. I really like this body for Venom. He has a nice bulk to him. He's still sized really well, especially compared to Spider-Man. But first, showing off just his height so I can show you. He's just under 7 inches tall. And to show off his scale here, he is next to a Spider-Man figure. This is the Todd McFarlane custom one that I showed briefly. And as you can see, he's appropriately shorter than this Venom. Which I'm really happy about. And then just so you can cover our bases, let's put on the original head. Now looking at it closer, I actually prefer the proportions of this head with the body a little bit better than this one, but I'm still happy to have made this one so it can match along with my Spider-Man. And the articulation of this figure is actually pretty nice, if not a bit loose, especially in the hips. Makes being able to stand him a little bit tricky. And his torso joint was also really loose, so I actually just glued that shut, which, yeah, I'm taking off articulation, but I don't really mind. And you can see the standing problem. But yeah, that's the figure. Pretty happy about it. But anyways, that's the figure and that's the video. So please leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.